Sony wants to pay you $100 to upgrade to the PS5. After that, let's talk about how the best DualSense ever is coming back for a limited time. And finally, I think it's time for Sony to just give in and cancel this game. How's it going, everyone? As always, my name is Jimmy Champagne. This is PSReady, my channel all about PlayStation. I'm just gonna roll right into the first news story here because this is really interesting just looking at the timing of what's happening. They raised the price of the PS5. That absolutely sucks. It's like $50 more depending on which one you buy, but now they're running a promotion specifically for people who are still on the PlayStation 4 to get a PS5 and then get $100 of PSN store credit. And it's actually really easy to take advantage of. You don't have to fill out any forms, go to any special websites or anything. All you have to do is upgrade to a PS5 after the date of August 26th. And since we're in September, that date has passed. So if you buy a PS5 going forward, once you activate it, you should check your email because you'll get $100 of PSN store credit. It's just absolutely bizarre that they're running a promotion like this right after they raise the price by $50 because it's them acknowledging that the PS5 is not selling as well as they want it to, but then they're also raising the price by $50 of the PS5. So like, while this would be an incredible promotion to get it for the old price and then get $100, they're giving you a free game's worth of store credit on top of the new price if you really math it all out, because you're taking $50 of that $100 off and then you've got $50 left over to spend on a game or most of the way to a PS Plus subscription. The point is they're giving you free money to upgrade to the PlayStation 5. And when you look at all these games that are abandoning the PlayStation 4, like Genshin Impact, like PUBG, there's plenty more that are going to drop support. I think it is the right time with this promotion in mind. If you missed this promotion, I would definitely wait for the end of the year because there will probably be a sale that will bring it back to its old MSRP. But I feel like this is a pretty good deal. And it's nice to see them kind of giving people a way to save some money when they're raising the MSRP price of the actual machine. And if you're someone who's still on the PS4, it has never really been a better time to upgrade outside of the price situation through the games that are coming out. You've got Ghost of Yotei coming out, Death Stranding 2 just came out, Metal Gear Solid Delta just came out, Chronos The New Dawn is coming out very soon, Hell Is Us is out, Lost Soul Side is out. Like, the amount of games we're getting between now and the end of the year is absolutely insane. And it's not like, you know, good timing that all this stuff just lined up exactly right to come out by the end of the year, Borderlands 4 included. It's because they're all absolutely terrified of one game that's coming out next year, which is GTA 6. And that should be the biggest motivator of all when it comes to upgrading from the PlayStation 4 to PlayStation 5, because that game is not coming out on PS4. And I'd argue that the vast majority of the people who have not upgraded yet are really only probably playing Grand Theft Auto 5 these days, or GTA Online. If they're not playing that, they're playing Call of Duty. They probably plan on playing Battlefield. They're getting Madden. They're getting NCAA football. They're getting all the sports games, the annualized stuff. But, you know, GTA 6 is definitely going to be the thing that pushes the vast majority of the people who haven't upgraded over the edge. And just with the way things are going with the price is expensive right now, but it's just going to keep continuing to go up the closer and closer we get to GTA 6, because they warned about it. They were like, we're going to adjust it more going into the future. And every analyst out there thinks that they don't mean they're going to lower the price. They think they mean that they're going to continue to raise the price. So I think this is the best promotion you're going to get. Like, if you can take advantage of it, you get the email that says, hey, we've flagged your account as someone who's been on PS4 and has not upgraded to the PlayStation 5. If you upgrade, we'll give you the $100 of store credit. You should definitely take advantage of that, because even if there is a sale later on this year, you're going to be fighting with crowds. You're going to be fighting with stuff selling out. And I doubt that sale will be as good as getting $100 back in PSN credit. And if you get the PS5 Pro, you get 2 terabytes of onboard storage. So you're going to have $100 to fill that storage up with tons and tons of great games. And just like I mentioned, there's tons and tons of great games coming out right now. So yeah, like, I want to praise them for this promotion because it's objectively a good promotion with a great deal. I haven't heard of this ever happening. And if it has, it's been so long that I can't literally remember a single time of it happening. But like, with the timing of the price increase of $50 across the board, it just doesn't make sense. I don't know if it's just a breakdown in communication or what, but yeah, it would hit a lot harder if we didn't get that $50 price increase. But regardless, it's still a good deal and you should take advantage of it if you're still on the PlayStation 4. I would 100% go with the one with the disc drive if you're giving me the choice between the digital slim and the disc drive slim. But like, even with the PSSR issues with some Unreal Engine 5 games, I really like the PS5 Pro. Even with its weird PSSR issues, I think the PS5 Pro is 100% worth the cost. And we are getting an FSR 4 upgrade next year, and I've been messing around with FSR 4 on my 9070 XT PC, and it's finally a good version of FSR. Like, they needed that help from PlayStation to really push it over the edge. So having used it, I think it's going to be a big upgrade for the PS5 Pro. So if you're coming from PS4, I mean, it's a huge upgrade to go to the Pro, and you'll get $100 back, which I don't think you can beat anywhere else. But if you do upgrade to the PS5 or PS5 Pro, you're probably going to want to get a special edition controller to go with it, because this generation, Sony has knocked it out of the park specifically with special edition controllers. This one's my go-to. It's my absolute favorite, the God of War Ragnarok edition. It's kind of a one of one, because I took the white controller that I got with my PS5 Slim, and I took the little black bottom half plastic off because it's easy to snap off. I switched it on here. It just looks so much better with the black bottom half than it did with white, because, you know, it's not like the Sonic the Hedgehog colors on the back. It's just blue all the way around. So there's a custom quick tip you can use on your DualSense if you bought the God of War Ragnarok one. But the Astrobot Special Edition one is by far my favorite. I missed out on it last year, which really bummed me out. It sold out faster than the Spider-Man 2 PS5 plates did back in the day, but they're bringing it back this year. On September 10th, you can pre-order it on PlayStation Direct, and it'll ship to you October 30th. Now, the cool thing is they're treating it as like a special edition line of controllers, so the little eyes that Astrobot has on the touchpad of the controller are different on this new version than the old one. So if you have the old one from last year, I mean, you're kind of being forced to buy the new one too, so you can get the entire collection. But I'd imagine if this sells well, they'll just keep bringing them back with different expressions on the actual touchpad. And if that happens, I'd love to get them all and put them in a shadow box, all nicely lined up with their different eye expressions. I hope Astrobot did well enough to become a franchise. They've definitely supported it over the past year with tons and tons of extra levels, and some of them are brutally difficult. That was something I was kind of missing in the original game. Like, I play a lot of platformers, so I kind of flew through all of the levels, even the challenge ones. It did also have a really easy platinum. I've been having trouble though with some of the DLC levels because some of them are absolutely nuts. I just hope that, you know, it continues to get support going on into the future, because even though at the end of the day, it is kind of a big glorified ad campaign for all these different PlayStation franchises, it was nice to see them all collected in a game that everyone kind of unanimously agrees is high quality. I was a ride or die defender of PlayStation All-Stars Battle Royale on PS3 and Vita. That was one of the first games that if you bought it on PS3 with disc, you got a digital code for the game for Vita, and your saves would bounce back and forth automatically, which was super cool. I have the platinum on the Vita version and the PS3 version of PlayStation All-Stars Battle Royale, but that game didn't catch on. People who played Smash didn't really like it, and I don't think it sold all that well. So it's kind of like a redemption arc moment for Astrobot to see it selling as well as it did. But I'm pretty sure it got just over 1 million copies. I don't know what they were looking for out of it, but I'd call that a success, because at the end of the day, it is kind of like a glorified ad campaign for PlayStation franchises and other games that exploded on the PlayStation brand. I didn't mean to put it that way, but you get what I'm saying. And for the last news story, I want to talk about why I think it's just time to cancel Fairgame. So if you're not caught up on all the drama surrounding this, earlier in the year, they did play tests for Fairgames, and they went really bad. People were describing it as a mix of a Battle Royale and Payday. They were describing it to be like Fortnite mixed with, I don't know, The Division. And overall, the feedback was not great. They said it played clunky, it didn't make a lot of sense, and most importantly, it wasn't very fun to play. So right after those play tests happened, Sony lost the leader of the studio, who is Jade Raymond. Now, it's not confirmed, but people think Sony let her go. They were like, all right, this is not shaping up. You got to get the hell out of here. And then they continued on developing it. They didn't cancel it after that. But now the new director of the game has also left for WB Montreal, and they're not canceling it. They're keeping it in production. But for all this talk about canceling games early and cheaply, this is the one that should have been canceled a long time ago. If you go to the trailer that they released for it during a state of play, it has way more dislikes than likes on YouTube. People just don't seem to be interested in it. And like, I think the biggest issue with it, outside of its art style being totally bland and generic, is that people came out of the playtest ready to describe it as other games. You know, you can easily say it's like Payday mixed with Fortnite. They were saying it has Division elements. They were just pulling from tons of different live service games, which shows not only a lack of focus, but a core problem, which is a lack of originality. Like, if you're doing a live service game, it's not about copying Destiny. It's not about copying Call of Duty. It's about bringing something genuinely new to the table. Like what you're seeing with Battlefield 6, where instead of chasing the tail of Call of Duty or other games that were performing well in adjacent sectors, like, you know, other first-person shooters like Apex Legends, for example, example, they went back to the core of Battlefield and redesigned it to be a modern version of Battlefield 3 and 4, and they are getting rewarded for it by insane pre-orders and everything else. So when you work with originality and find your own lane in the crowded space of live service games, that's what really helps you succeed. But if you just look at the landscape and say, okay, Destiny works, Fortnite works, The Division works, so let's just take little bits from each of those games and mash them together, it's just going to always end up feeling derivative of those games at the end of the day, and it's going to lose its player base back to those games extremely quickly. The crazy thing is, if you look at the single player side of the fence, Sony is a trendsetter in a lot of ways. They've perfected the open world action adventure game. They perfected the third person action game that's not open world with stuff like Uncharted. They have tons and tons of creative, unique, awesome games. And even when they play in established things like, you know, open world games, they get praised for doing things differently, like with the whole guiding system in Ghost of Tsushima. So I just think the whole approach on the live service games was wrong, but like, you're losing so many top creative people. It's signaling that this game is not working. I would just say it's time to cut your losses and not end up with the big Concord situation all over again like we did last year, because that just hurts the reputation overall, and that's not what PlayStation needs to go through right now. But man, Jade Raymond is like the ultimate grifter in terms of getting huge budgets and full studios funded by huge companies like Sony and then bailing when they don't come together. She's done it so many times, starting all the way back with Assassin's Creed. It's absolutely insane how the cycle continues, where she joins a studio, gets a huge budget, the game doesn't come out good, she leaves, someone comes in and finishes her job for her, and then she just moves on to the next studio. I fully expect that to happen again, but you'd think studios would get wise to her not ever finishing her projects and just spending a bunch of money and bailing. It's honestly kind of crazy. Anyway, guys, that's all I've got for you in today's video. As always, my name is Jimmy Champagne. I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching, and shape on.